Hello guys, myself Anshuman Jaiswal welcome you all in my Commerce Gateway classes. In today's class, that is lecture 4 of accounting equation, we will deal with some more practical concepts. So without wasting time, let's get started to our question. So our first question, number 1 of first transaction is started business with cash rupees 1,75,000. So as already discussed in the previous classes, since the cash is coming into the business, so 1,75,000 will be added in cash, no effect on stock, no effect on debtor, no effect on creditor, and creditor will be created also by 1,75,000. So very simple transaction is, from 2 classes we are discussing on this transaction only. Now moving on to our next equation, next transaction, but before that we have to frame an equation here to make it balanced. As you can see that the cash 1,75,000, stock 0, debtor 0, 0, creditor, and 1,75,000. Now our second transaction is purchase goods from Rohit rupees 50,000. Now in this question it is not given that whether we are purchasing the goods on cash or whether we are purchasing the goods on credit. So we are purchasing the goods on we are purchasing the goods from Rohit. But who is Rohit? Rohit is a creditor, as already defined in the term creditor, that creditor is the person from whom we are purchasing the goods on credit. So Rohit is a creditor. So since we are purchasing the goods, so stock is coming into the business, it will be added by 50,000, and Rohit is a creditor, so creditor will be increased by 50,000. You can write here creditor Rohit to prove your transaction, to make your transaction more clear. So no change in cash and no change in debtor and no change in capital. So as you can see, the equation gets balanced. So now let us frame an equation to make it balanced. 1,75,000 in cash, stock 50,000, debtor 0, creditor 50,000, and capital 1,75,000. As now you can total 1,75,000 plus 50,000, 2,25,000, and 50,000 plus 1,75,000, that is also 2,25,000. Now moving on to the third transaction. What is our third transaction? Let me see. Third transaction is sold goods on credit to Manish costing 17,500 for 20,000. Means the transaction says that as already we have discussed this transaction in our previous 2 classes. Now let me explain this, that sold goods on credit to Manish. Now we are selling the goods and the cost price of the goods is 17,500. So our 17,500 will be deducted from stock, and we are selling the goods not on cash, we are selling the goods on credit. So the 20,000 will be added in debtor, as already told in the definition of the debtor. Debtor is a person to whom we are selling the goods on credit. So we can say that Manish is our debtor. So you can write here in this column Manish debtor. So 17,500 is the cost price of goods and we are selling it at 20,000. How much profit it makes? It make profit of 2,500. So 2,500 will be added in capital. And no change in creditor, no change in cash. So let us see whether our equation is balanced or not. So equation 1,75,000 will be in cash, stock will be 22,500, 20,000 debtor, 50,000 creditor, and 1,77,500 will be our capital. Okay, hope so it is clear to you. Now moving on to our next transaction, but before this let us see that whether our equation is balanced or not. 1,75,000, it will be 20,000, 42,500 and 1,75,000, 500, 2,17,500 and 1,77,500 and plus 50,000, it will be 217,500, 22. Wait, let me see if there is any mistake. 50,000 plus 22, 1055, 97251, 32,500. Sorry, it will be not 22, it will be 32,500. Now you can see that it will be not 52. So our equation gets balanced. Now moving on to our next transaction. So our next transaction is purchase furniture for office use. Purchase furniture for office use, rupees 10,000. Since we are purchasing the furniture, so the furniture is coming into the business, so we have to add here one more stock, one more asset, that is furniture. So our furniture will be increased by 10,000 and cash will be deducted by 10,000. So and rest, no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in creditor, no change in capital. As you can see, our equation gets balanced. Now let us see, frame an equation. So it will be 1,75,000 minus 10,000, 1,65,000 plus 32,500 plus 20,000 plus 10,000 is equal to 50,000 plus 1,77,500. Since the space is not there in my board, so I am carrying this equation to above side, to the front. So now let me write the amount once again. Cash will be 1,65,000, stock will be 32,500, debtor will be 20,000, furniture will be 10,000, creditor will be 50,000, and now capital will be 1,77,500. Now moving on to our next transaction. So our next transaction is cash paid to Rohit, cash paid to Rohit in full settlement rupees 48,500. Remember children, in our second transaction what we have done, that we have purchased the goods from Rohit. Now we are returning the amount to Rohit. So we are making the payment 48,500. So cash will be deducted from the business, 48,500, and now 50,000 will be deducted as final payment. So we are making the payment, we have to make the payment of 50,000 and we are making the payment full and final settlement, that is 48,500. So how much is the profit? Profit will be of 1500. So our equation gets balanced now, and no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture. Now let us frame an equation and see that whether our equation is balanced or not. Equation, let us write. So 1,65,000 minus 48,500, 65,000 48,500, it will be 500, 17 8 9, 1,65,000 15 8 9. So how much is 1,16,500? It will be 1,16,500. No change in stock, no change in debtor, it will be as it is. No change in furniture, creditor will be 0 and capital will be 1,79,000. Okay. Now moving on to our next transaction. Our next transaction is cash received from Manish. Cash received from Manish. In before earlier transaction, we have sorted out the transaction of Manish, that Manish is our debtor and Manish has returned to us rupees 20,000. So this Manish 20,000 will be come into the business, 20,000 will be added in cash and now 20,000 will be deducted from Manish. Now he has paid the amount to us, so that 20,000 will be deducted. Rest no change in stock, no change in furniture, no change in creditor and no change in capital. Now let us frame an equation and see that whether our equation is balanced or not. Equation, you have to write here next 1,16,500, that is it will be 1,36,500 plus 32,500 plus no stock will be, debtor will be 0, 10,000 furniture, creditor 0 and plus 1,79,000. Now moving on to our next transaction. Our next transaction is rent paid rupees 1,000. Rent paid rupees 1,000. Since already discussed in the previous class, the rent is an expense and whenever there is a payment of expense, cash and capital both are deducted. So rent will be deducted by 1,000, rest no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, no change in creditor and capital will be deducted by 1,000. So let us see that our equation is balanced or not. So you have to write here equation and it will be the amount settled off will be 1,36,000, 1,35,500 plus 32,500, no change in debtor, furniture 10,000, 0 and plus 1,78,000. Okay children, moving on to our next transaction and last transaction. Last transaction is withdraw for personal use. Withdraw for personal use, rupees 10,000. Now the businessman is withdrawing 10,000 from the business for the personal use. So the 10,000 it acts as an expense, so it will be deducted from cash as well as a capital. So 10,000 will be deducted from here, no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, no change in creditor and 10,000 will be deducted from here. So now our transaction is complete and let us make a final equation and make it balance. Final equation. So our final equation will be 1,25,500 plus 32,500 plus 0 plus 10,000 creditor plus 1,68,000. Now let us see our equation is balanced or not. 32,500 plus 10,000, 42,500. So 1,25,500 plus 42,500. It will be 0, 0, 0, 5 to 7, 5 plus 2, 7 plus 8, 1,68,000. So you can see our equation gets balanced, 1,68,000 in asset and 1,68,000 in liability. So our equation, accounting equation gets proved. So this was the question 1. Hope so it is clear to you. Moving on to our next question. Let me write it once again. Cash, stock, debtor plus creditor. Okay. Now, moving on to our next question, that is question number 2. And our first transaction of question number 2 is Harish started business. Harish started business with cash rupees 1,80,000. Since the businessman has invested 1,80,000 into the business, so the cash is increases by 1,80,000. No change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in furniture, 0 plus it will be 1,80,000. Now moving on to our next transaction. So our next transaction, but before moving on to that, let us frame whether the equation is balanced or not. 1,80,000 it will be in cash. Stock no effect 0, debtor no effect 0, furniture no effect 0, creditor no effect, and 1,80,000 it will be in the capital. Now moving on to our next equation, next transaction. Purchase goods for cash 60,000 and 30,000 on credit. Purchased goods for rupees 60,000 on cash and rupees 30,000 on credit. As already we have discussed these type of question in our previous 2 classes, so let us frame an equation that how it will be balanced. So we are purchasing the goods. So good stock will be coming into the business. It will be added by 60,000 and 60,000 will be deducted from the cash, and rest no change in debtor, no change in creditor, no change in furniture, no change in creditor, and no change in capital. Now second part of the question states that purchase goods on credit 30,000. So again the stock will be added by rupees 30,000, and now we are purchasing the goods not on cash, but we are purchasing the goods on credit. So 30,000 will be added in creditor, rest no change. Now let us balance an equation and see that whether our equation is balanced or not. Equation, it will be 1,80,000 minus 60,000, 1,20,000 plus 90,000 plus 0 plus 0, 30,000 in creditor and 1,80,000 in capital. Now you can see that 1,80,000 plus 30,000 is equal to 2,10,000. Here also 1,20,000 plus 90,000 is equal to 2,10,000. Now moving on to our third transaction. Our third transaction is sold goods for cash 40,000, sold goods for cash rupees 40,000, costing rupees 24,000. So first of all, the cost price of a stock is 24,000. So stock 24,000 will be deducted. We are selling the goods and we are selling the goods for cash 40,000. Now the cost price of 24,000 of cost price of the stock is 24,000. We are selling it at 40,000. So the profit is of 16,000. So 16,000 profit will be added in the capital. And now 40,000 is coming into a business. So 40,000 will be added. So now let us see that whether our equation is balanced or not. So our equation will be 1,40,000, it will be 1,60,000 plus it will be 66,000, 10, 4, 6, 7, 8 to 6. No change in debtor, no change in furniture. 30,000 it will be creditor and 1,96,000 it will be capital. Now moving on to our next transaction. What is our next transaction? The next transaction is rent paid 5,000, rent paid rupees 5,000 and outstanding rent rupees 2,000. Means we are making the payment of rent rupees 5,000. So first of all, rent payment 5,000 will be deducted since rent is an expense, so cash will be deducted. Now outstanding rent means the amount which is due, means we have not make the payment of rupees 2,000. So 2,000 will be added as a liability. So 2,000 we can show here as outstanding liability. Outstanding rent. So our 2,000 creates a liability here and 5,000 will be deducted from capital as well as 2,000 will be also deducted because the actual amount of rent was 7,000. So which is due 2,000. So our equation gets balanced 0 plus 0. So as you can see that equation framed will be 1,60,000 plus 5,000, 1,55,000 in cash plus 66,000 in stock, debtor no change, furniture no change, creditor 30,000 plus 1,96,000 minus 7,000, 1,89,000 and plus 2,000. Let us see whether our equation is balanced or not. 1,55,000 plus 66, 1,55,000 and 66, it will be 2,21,000 and 191 and plus 30, 2,21,000. Our equation gets balanced. Now moving on to our last transaction and final transaction, it will be so. Our last transaction is salary paid in advance. Salary paid in advance rupees 3,000. Since first of all we have paid the salary in advance, so first of all cash goes by 3,000 and now advance it will be treated as here prepaid. You can write here prepaid salary, it will be treated as asset because it is not due. So here we can write here 3,000. So now our equation gets balanced. Our equation gets balanced. So you can write here final equation. So our final equation will be 1,52,000 plus 66,000 plus 0 plus 0 plus 3000 plus 30,000 plus 1,89,000 and plus 2,000. So as you can see, our equation gets balanced. 1,52,000 plus 66,000. Asset side will be 6 plus 2 8, 15 plus 6 2,18,000, and here plus 3,000, that is it will be 2,21,000. 2,21,000. 3,000 plus 1,91,000 plus 30,000 plus 1,90,000, that is it will be also equal to 2,21,000. So our equation gets balanced. Hope so the question we are dealing with, it is clear to you. Now moving on to our third, and it will be our last question of today's class. So moving on to our third question. So our third question is very much simple and very much short. It won't take any much time. Let me write it once again to make it clear to you. Cash, stock, debtor, creditor plus capital. So our question number third, our first transaction is started business with cash, started business with cash, rupees 1,40,000 and goods rupees 2,50,000. Now the owner has invested two things in the business, two assets in the business, that is cash and goods. So first of all, the cash will be added by 1,40,000. Cash comes into the business, and now he is investing stock also into the business of rupees 2,50,000. So stock will be also added rupees 2,50,000 in the business. So debtor comes 0, creditor also comes 0, and the total of cash and stock will create an capital, that is it will be 3,90,000. So hope so the first transaction is clear to you. Moving on to the second transaction. But before that, we have to frame an equation and make it balanced, that whether it is tally or not. 1,40,000 plus 2,50,000 plus 0 plus 3,90,000. Okay, hope so it is clear to you. Moving on to a second transaction. Second transaction is sold goods costing rupees 50,000, costing rupees 50,000 at a profit of 25% on cost. Now the cost price of the good is rupees 50,000. So stock rupees 50,000 will be deducted. Stock is going into from our business. And what is the 50,000? 25%. So you can calculate over here. 50,000 25% will be 1/4 12,500. So 12,500 will be profit, and profit will be added in the capital. And now what is the total profit? Total profit will be 50,000 and plus 12,500. So 62,500 will be added in the cash. Since it is not given that whether it is on cash and on credit, so it is assumed that it is given on the cash when it is no information is given. Now let us frame an equation and see that whether our equation is balanced or not. So as you can see that it will be 1,40,000, it will be 2,02,500, 2,02,500 plus 2 lakh plus 0 plus 4,02,500 4,02,500. 4,02,500. Yes, our equation gets balanced. Now moving on to a third transaction. Third transaction is deposited into bank rupees 1,80,000. Now what we are depositing into the bank? It is obvious that we are depositing cash into our bank. We are depositing cash into the bank. So cash will be deducted by 1,80,000, and since bank is an asset because they provide financial assistance, so one more column will be added, 1,80,000 of bank, and rest no change in stock, no change in debtor, no change in creditor, no change in capital. So you have to include one more column here, that is of bank. So now our equation gets balanced here. So our equation will be 2 lakh 2, it will be 500, 12 to 4, 22,500. 22,500 plus 2 lakh plus 10 plus 1,80,000 and plus 0 in creditor and plus 4,02,500. Let me see that whether it is right or not. 1,80,000, 2 to 5, 180, 0, 0, 0, 2, 5. Yes, our equation is balanced. Here the amount is correct. Now moving on to our last transaction. Our last transaction is for purchase goods from Mohit. Now at what amount we are purchasing the goods from Mohit? Rupees 80,000. So this transaction is very much easy. Since we are purchasing the goods from Mohit, so Mohit is our creditor as told in our previous question. So 80,000 will be added to creditor and stock will be also added by 80,000 and rest no change. Now let us see whether our equation is balanced or not. So it will be equation 22,500 plus 2,80,000 plus no change in debtor plus 1,80,000 in bank, 80,000 in creditor and 4,02,500 in capital. Now let us see that whether our equation is balanced or not. So our liability will be 4,02,500 plus 80,000. It will be 4,82,500. And our asset will be 2,80,000 plus 1,80,000. It will be 60,460, 460,000 and 22,500. 500 500 2 8, 4,82,500. Since you can see that our equation is balanced, that is 4,82,500 in liability and 4,82,500 in assets. So our equation gets balanced. So you can write here and make your equation as final, as already made final. So you can write here final equation. Hope so today's class it is clear to you. So it was all for part 4, and in part 5 will be coming very soon, and in part 5 we will be dealing with more complex question. So thank you, stay safe and have a nice day.